Yeah.
Right.
Test, test.
Quality, man.
How's it sound?
Sounds good. Okay. How do we get, oh, we need a little orange thing for the background. Oh, yeah, we need to see it. Yeah.
It's only if you guys want to see it.
A couple people.
Yeah.
Definitely thought it would be a fun. Is it winter or what?
Might be like 30 people at that thing.
This thing going. You don't have to charge this thing, right, Tara?
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't even light up.
Yeah, we should put it in chat. Who's at the work is watching.
This
Do
part.
the one above it, maybe?
What is it? The right part. And then he's got two. Yeah.
You have two on there?
It's not even lighting up.
3. Fancy.
Sorry, boys, you will not be seeing this presentation.
He'll just see. I'll give it a second. Is it flashing?
Nothing. Usually it flashes.
There can always, if you have a laptop, you want to. True. The screen shared all night.
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, next we're go on your
There you go.
go on the Zoom I sent you in the email. Do you have your laptop?
Yeah.
Just whip that up so you see the presentation. I don't know where it's on. Weird.
Oh, we got it.
Got it? Okay. Okay. Do you want me to do the quick intro?
Sure. How do I get this showing up here?
it's
I
extended.
see.
I think it's extended.
Yeah, let me
Sorry,
see.
everybody online. We will be with you very shortly. It's weird to see it on Zoom with the entire view.
What?
I can see everything. Usually when I'm on Zoom, it's just my head for my training. There you go.
Okay, perfect.
All right, guys, we're gonna get started. We have such a massive group here in person. Sorry for the technical delayness, but we've got Chris here. Some of you guys have seen Chris at some of our Monday meetings. In the background, he's the one that's made all of our videos and our meetings much prettier. And all those reels that you guys have been seeing on our Instagram, both on the Fulton Sisters account and Percy Fulton. So we thought that we would introduce you or reintroduce you to everybody in the brokerage again, just to kind of talk about social media content and then some of your services that Chris can help out with. So if you guys have any questions, do you want questions at the end or the beginning?
Yeah, we'll do it at the end.
All right. So if you guys have questions at the end or throughout this session, just put them in the chat and then we'll go over them at the end. But I can let Chris take over and yeah, I'll keep watching the chat.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. No pressure.
No pressure. Okay. So let me just make sure that we're sharing this.
On our.
All right. Can you see my screen? Okay. All right. So hey guys, I'm Chris, as Katelyn said, and you guys have probably seen me around here kind of working with you guys, trying to help set up the nice camera for you guys to get your Monday power hours going. This is my very first training, so bear with me. I think it might be a little bit long based on what I have on here, so we're going to maybe try to speed through some things, and I'm also going to try to get a little bit of participation, even though we have a little bit of a small group here in person. So what we're going to be talking about today is how to scale your brand with social media content and as little as 4 hours per month and how you can do that. And see. What I plan on doing with you guys and teaching you guys today is what is your sphere of influence and how that kind of applies to social media as a whole and how you can kind of utilize social media to grow and nurture that sphere of influence. What is the type of content that you guys want to be creating and how to create that content efficiently. On top of that, I'm going to also be showing you guys how to use social media to grow and nurture that sphere of influence so that you can continuously just have it going on a flywheel and not spend as much time working on it. So one of the first questions that I have for you guys is, what is a sphere of influence? Anyone know?
None of the managers are allowed in, somebody in the.
That's big pressure.
Yeah.
That's right. Friends, family, friends.
Yeah. Yeah, bang on, you got it. So sphere of influence is essentially just a warm audience of people that know who you are. It could be your database, email database, and people that you know. Could be past coworkers, could be your friends, could be your family. And nowadays it could also be your social media following, people that know who you are. And one of the number one strategies that people give you, and a bunch of the realtors I've worked with in the past also have told me, is that one of the greatest ways that you guys can grow your business and grow everything that you do, and it applies to personal brands, but also to small businesses as well, is to work and grow your sphere of influence. And ways that you can do that is, actually, I have questions for you guys, so I don't know how I'm going to go through it. Unfortunately for real estate agents, so growing your sphere of influence works for any business that you think about. Unfortunately for you guys, you need to do this for a lot longer than a lot of other people. So me, for instance, me growing my sphere of influence, I can meet someone on day one, and then within a month, they want to do some work with me and do a transaction. They want to start recording content. And that content can be every couple months, or let's say quarterly we do it. Could be monthly, could even be multiple times a month. For you guys, people only transact once every couple of years, right? So you guys have to make sure that you're staying on top of mind with all these people for a lot longer than the general business. So a question for you guys, how do you guys work or nurture this sphere of influence today? Get drunk with them. Okay, that's good. Social media, great one. Yeah, there we go. Anyone else? Perfect. I love the ones that Katelyn says specifically, but we'll get through that later. We had calls, messaging. That was another one. And what are ways that you guys are able to grow your sphere of influence? Get drunk with them. There we go. Another one. Meet them at the bar. What else? Lead magnets. There we go. Another good one. How about just like old school? What do you guys think? Socializing more? Cold calling, you say? Yeah, calling them. Another one, good one is also door to door. A lot of people do that too. Door knocking. Yeah, going door knocking. So those are ways that people have grown their sphere of influence in the past, and a lot of them, as you can see, are manual. But the ones like that Katelyn was sharing are ones that are specifically a little bit more tactical. A problem with a lot of these one-on-one things is that they take a lot of time. So if you're going networking, you're going out to events, it takes a lot of your time to go do that. If you guys are going door knocking, it takes a lot of time for you guys to do that. And if you guys are making cold calls, it also takes a lot of time to do that. And your time that you're spending is 1-to-1. So the input, you put in 1 hour of calling, you only get 1 hour of engagement from someone else by doing that. Just for example, if we go through it, what happens when you go door knocking for 4 hours? Let's say on average, 2 minutes to go up the driveway, knock on the door, get someone to answer or not answer, and then walk away. You can knock a maximum of 120 doors with that. Let's say roughly 10% of these people answer the door. That means that you have 12 conversations that you've generated in that 4 hours. Let's say 33% of them give you their contact information to follow up or send them anything else. That means you have 4 new contacts that you've added to your database in 4 hours. And in general, you've just generated, let's say, 10-minute conversation with each person. You've generated 120 minutes of engagement with people based on that 4 hours of effort that you put in. Now, what if I told you that you could take this 4 hours and you can trade it for 4 hours that turns into 100 plus hours of engagement instead of 4 hours for 120 minutes of engagement? Would you guys take it? So that is actually possible to do, and it's through creating social media content. And in case you guys need a little bit of proof, these are some stats that we have from clients that we work with. So one of our clients that we worked with in January, they just spent 4 hours creating social media content and they generated 15,500 views, which also generated 457 hours of watch time and 255 new subscribers.
What kind of business is it?
Real estate.
Oh,
Yeah, it's real estate. All of these are real estate, I believe. Yeah, all of these are real estate. This other one is December. They spent again 4 hours creating content and posting on social media, generated 9,000 views, and that led to 243 hours of watch time. So 4 hours they spent, got 243 hours of watch time. And it also generated 87 subscribers. Yeah. So a lot of these I've already been working with them for a while. Yeah.
Watch time.
Yeah.
It could be just spending time watching videos.
It's watching your videos though. This is videos that our clients are putting out, and that's how much time people are spending watching their videos.
Like one particular video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not random videos, it's all your videos that they're watching. And then this is another client, again, same thing, 4 hours spent creating content. They generated 6,900 views, 303 hours watched, and then also generated 28 new subscribers.
wait, that guy had more 4 hours watched and like half the amount of views.
And the trick usually for that, like we got in the audience here, this one had less views but had more watch time, right? Generally, that happens when you have longer form content. So if you're putting out more shorts and you're putting out more videos that are like 4 to 7 minutes long, then that's going to generally have you less watch time. But if you're putting out hour-long podcasts, you'll generate more watch time overall because they're longer. And the best thing about that is those numbers were just YouTube. That doesn't count anything like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, anything like that. We have clients that specifically only focus on Instagram as well. And just so you guys can see that too. So we have just 3 posts that I pulled from some of our clients. You can see that the first one over here is from January 15th, so not too long ago. This one Instagram reel just generated 13 hours watch time in 38 minutes. Second one was posted January 31st, which generated 7 hours of watch time. And then the third one over here was posted January 31st as well. And it generated a day and 13 hours of watch time just from one reel that they put out. So actually, one of yours is yours.
Can you say like from our Instagram,
Do you have yours?
Fulton Sisters is 90,000 views in the last 30 days. And Percy Fulton 17,000 views last 30. And like that's all reels from YouTube.
So 17,000 views on Percy Fulton in the last 7 days or 30 days.
1,000 views on Fulton Sisters.
90.4 thousand views on Fulton Sisters in the last 30 days. So again, yeah, and I do create most of the reels for them.
Too, right?
Yeah, and TikTok, which TikTok does really well for you guys. So just going back to it, when we pull it back to social media content versus, let's say, door knocking or something that's valuable or a one-on-one. When you come shoot content for 4 hours, you're able to create 4 YouTube videos or 4 podcasts. And these can also be turned into 4 blogs, which can be turned into 4 emails, which can be turned into 8 to 12 short form posts, which can also be turned into 4 carousel designed posts. And they can also be turned into 8 to 12 text posts. And before, this used to be very manual where we had to go through everything and create a lot of these things. But now, thanks to AI, a lot of this can be automated for you guys. So blogs, emails, text posts, most of those can all be automated for you. just a part, like a little post where you have just written word on your like you can do it on Facebook, Instagram, it works really well. So stuff like that. And also from this, you now have a full month worth of social media content that you can spread across the month and schedule it. Don't you shoot it once, you schedule it out and you don't have to think about it again for the next month. You're staying top of mind almost every day with your database by doing this. You're getting hundreds, thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of people seeing you. You're also generating 100+ hours of people engaging and watching your content. And all those new followers are becoming part of your database, which is you don't have their phone number and their email, but they're following you. And every time you post, you're nurturing them further and further and further through social media. Boil it all down very specifically to what is social media and how do you create content and how does this all work? You simply have just content creation. So you're creating some sort of piece of content and its distribution. How do you get it in front of people? At the very end of the day, that's simply what it is. Create content and put it in front of people. And the way that this ties back to your sphere of influence is you have this warm audience. You create one piece of content and you're able to distribute it to everyone, whether it's through email, you have their email, you send it to them in database. You have them on social media, you send it to them through social media by posting it. If they're following you only on LinkedIn, post on LinkedIn, then you hit them with a piece of content there. And if you only have their phone number, you could always text them if you want and send them a link to your new video. So when we come down to content creation, this is a hard one thing that a lot of people struggle with. It's what kind of content do I make and how do I do it? Like, how do I spend time doing it and do it efficiently? Because it takes a lot of time. My number one thing that I like to pitch to everyone is make sure that you focus on video content. A lot of before things used to work really well if you just had photo content and you posted on Instagram, let's say. If you just had text content, you made a post on Facebook. But the world has more and more switched towards video content. And one of the most important things about this is that it's able to do more than just be one video. And just so we have something to back it up, why video content? Over here is three stats. 87% of marketers say that video has helped bring them in high quality leads. Audiences retain 95% of messages when it's consumed in video versus when it's consumed in just by reading text. And videos are also shared 1,200% more than any other form of content. So that helps you guys get your brand pushed in front of people a lot easier than if you were just to post text and photo. And then my number one favorite part about video is that you get the most out of it. Once you have a piece of video content, you're able to repurpose it into tons of different things. If you just had a photo, there's only so much you can do with it. If you just had a text post, there's only so much that you can do with it. But when you have a video post, you could turn this, you just need one topic that you want to talk about. You record one video. It could be a podcast, could be a YouTube video, could even be a short video. And then you can take that and you can turn it into a blog. So you have something that's generating SEO traffic on your website. You can create it into an email. So you're hitting everyone on your email database with that content that you just created. Email. Yeah. You put it into the task or you're emailing that video? So you're doing a little bit of both. You can take the transcript of the video, plug it into AI, or if you feel like you want to rewrite it by yourself, go ahead. But you can plug that transcript into AI and you can tell it to create you a blog or an email based off of that. That also promotes people going to watch the video further. So it can give them a little bit of a teaser at the beginning, give them the link to go click and watch the video if they so happen to want to, and then give them at the bottom a little call to action. So they have something that they can go do. They have an action to take afterwards. So usually that's what we like to do. When you have the long form video and you have a video content, you can also recreate this and repurpose it into 2 to 3 different forms of short form videos, which you can then share on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all those different platforms. If you're a little bit more design and tech enabled, you can also turn it into a carousel post where you get the information from that video and you turn it into a step-by-step graphic telling people on something on that topic that you just spoke about in a graphical form where they can swipe through and learn. And then you can also take those short form videos that you've created and turn them into text posts as well. That usually those work better on LinkedIn and Facebook and stuff like that. Even if you do an Instagram story, you can do some posts where it's just dark screen or some sort of background and you put writing on there. So those work as well for that. So now that we understand video is the way to go because you get the most out of it, how do we do this efficiently, and how don't we waste our time always last minute trying to jam in and create a video or some sort of content that we can post on Instagram? And by batch shooting our content, that's how we solve that problem. So instead of us always saying, okay, every Wednesday I'm going to be posting, then Tuesday comes up and you guys stop everything that you're doing, trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to post? How am I going to come up with it? Just forget about all that. All you need to do is schedule a time in a day when you guys are going to actually shoot all your content for the month, and then get it all scheduled out so you don't have to think about it again until the next month. So like I mentioned, it does take a lot of time and effort to create video content and to create content in general. And that's what usually stops people from being so consistent with it. So by batch creating it, we solve a lot of those issues. Now, one of the best ways I thought about kind of taking you guys through this is actually taking you through the process that I use with a lot of my clients and just helping you guys kind of relate that to yourselves on how you guys can implement it yourselves. So one of the very first things I do when I work with a client is we help them pick their content frequency and their strategy. So frequency means basically how many topics do you want to talk about for the month, and how often do you want to bother your clients or nurture them. And then strategy comes into what type of content are you going to be creating. So some that I have listed down here are podcasts, YouTube, Instagram. So all those can be your focus for the topics for your content strategy. Now, a lot of the clients I showed you their results, they're doing 4 hours of content creation per month right now. But if you guys are just starting, it's very much like the gym. You don't go in and lift the heaviest thing on your first time that you're going around. So I'd suggest doing something small. So maybe month 1, you're starting with 1 hour of content creation. So that's what you're going to want to do. Schedule 1 hour that you guys have aside to just create that content. And if you reverse engineer that, if you're only doing one piece of content and you're focusing on podcasts, you just need one topic. If you're doing YouTube and you're doing 1 hour, you need 2 topics. If you're doing Instagram and you're just creating short form and you're spending 1 hour, you can do four different topics that are all short form reels. And if you're doing podcasts, that ends up being 1 podcast video and 4 short form clips that are taken from that podcast. If you're doing YouTube, that's 2 YouTube videos, and you can take 2 clips from those YouTube videos. And then if it's Instagram, you don't get YouTube videos and you don't get long form, but you'll get 4 very solid short form posts within that time. Yeah.
He just filmed with him.
Yeah, he has a podcast. Yeah. And then also benefits for all of these. Podcast is usually a really strong way to go, specifically for B2B, because when you're working B2B, you're growing your network, but you're also able to, and this is for anyone too, this part, you're also able to leverage someone else's network as well when you post it, because usually when you share content with them or you create content with them, they'll share it with others. And even on Instagram, they'll collaborate with everyone else on it. So that's a good way to kind of expand it naturally.
Setting up podcast now.
You could.
Podcast.
It's just more work to set up. Yeah.
So Chris is our Monday meeting. Obviously, you would see our 60-minute meetings up there with the 3 of us. And Chris will take 2 clips per week, right?
Yeah, we do 2 clips per week.
2 clips from it, makes a minute-long video, and then post it.
Yeah, and then you guys
So
post
it's like
that.
Not podcast, but
It pretty much is a podcast, to be honest. Yeah.
it makes it easy when you batch it. We just talk and then you do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's good with people like the Fultons, they're able to do it weekly because you already had something that you were doing and now you're just putting a camera in front of it. So you're not really changing anything besides putting a camera in front. But when it comes to other people, you want to batch it because it's not something that you just generally do, sit in front of a camera and start talking. Yeah, and it's uncomfortable. Yeah, exactly. It could be uncomfortable, and plus once when you're jumping in between a million different things, I'm sure everyone's noticed it. It's hard to focus in and do something and then jump over to another thing to do it. So when you do set aside that time to actually create all your content at once, it's a lot quicker than if you were to go back and forth with all of it.
Like, I guess speaking opportunities too, or people are doing.
Those are perfect.
Done speaking stages, and I'll hire a videographer that will capture something and give me 2 videos from it. So
Yeah.
you guys can do like fire seminars, any.
Yeah. And I don't know if anyone's picking it up, so I'll just repeat it. So what Katelyn was saying is even if you guys are doing some sort of like events or speaking engagements, like seminars, buyer seminars, seller seminars, first time home buyers, have someone come out and film that for you, and then you can chop it up into multiple different videos as well. So it's just taking something that you guys are already doing and then putting a camera behind it so that you're documenting it and showing it to everyone. Moving into stage 2 of the batch shoot process, this is after we already know what our frequency is and how often we're going to shoot and what kind of content we're going to shoot. The main thing that you want to do, this is the most important thing that you want to do, is actually put it in your calendar when you're going to shoot. Choose a shoot day, set that hour to 4 hours aside, and actually put it in your calendar, because if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. You won't do it, and something else will come in the way where it's not important anymore. So make sure you choose a time where you can actually allocate your hour to 4 hours to do this content and put in your calendar. Once you have that, it's time to just reverse engineer. If we're doing a podcast and only one topic, you go into research mode and you find out, okay, what topic do I actually want to talk about? And a lot of times you can find this a bunch of different ways. And you can do a mixture of what we like to say is evergreen, trending, or news hijacking, and community content. So if you, pardon? Yeah, Claire's a news hijacker, exactly. So it's things like that. You take something that's trending in the world and news, and you basically jump onto that content for it and give your take on it and explain how that affects your audience or your clientele. So that's one way, news hijacking. Whatever is happening in the news, take that. Another topic that you can do for topic generation is evergreen. So this can be just something that people will continuously get value from. It could be basically steps to buying your first home. That could be something that's very evergreen unless there's changes in the market, which then you can create an updated version of it. And then community content. If you're farming a certain area, let's say that you're in Pickering and you're working on Pickering, and that's specifically the area that you want to kind of hone in on, find out some things that are happening in the community. One thing that we had a lot of success with back in the day was following the development of the Pickering Casino. So one of our clients every month or every quarter would create an updated video on, okay, where's the progress of it? What's actually happening? What's the timeline now? What does this mean for you? And how can this affect basically your home value at the end of the day? So stuff like that, something that's just based on the community could also be another topic that you want to talk about. But at the end of the day, what we do and what you guys should do as well is create a topic list with everything. So this is just an example topic list of what we usually will try to provide for someone when they're coming up with the idea of what they want to talk about. So get the headline of what you want to talk about, and then a little summary of what it is and how it can benefit your client. Once you have that, you just narrow down on specifically what you want to talk about. And if whatever you don't create the first time, you have it for the next time you go shoot. Now, once you narrow down to that topic that you actually want to talk about, do a little bit of a prep going into it before, so you're not sitting there when it's time to shoot on that date and you're kind of thinking, okay, what do I need to say? Am I doing this right? Am I hitting all the points? Do this a couple days before. Get the topic that you want to talk about. Do, let's say, 15, 30 minutes of research and break it down where it's, okay, what's the hook that's going to get people interested in hearing this? Why would they care? That's the first point that you want to put into your video. Make sure that you introduce yourself. Why should they be listening to you? Why should they be getting this information from you? Why can't they just get it from someone else? So explain to them what your background is, who you are, why you're the one that should be giving this to them. and then break it down into 3 to 5 points, key points. If this is, let's say, a market update, these 5 key points can be a mixture of what news is currently happening, what's the most, like the hottest thing that's happening in the news, and explain to them what it is and how it affects them. You can explain any new updates and programs. So let's say renovation programs, home buyer programs, stuff like that, and anything that's specific to your community. And same thing works across any topic. So if you're doing something that's evergreen, like steps to buying your first home, 3 to 5 points that you want to hit on them to take them through. And then at the end, all you want to do is conclude. Take them through again very quickly what you just taught them, and so they can easily understand it. And at the end of the day, you can also use that for a social media clip of you quickly summarizing what they need to do. And at the very end, just sign off with a call to action that naturally integrates into what you're doing. So if it's a first-time home buyer, or how steps to become a first-time home buyer, maybe you can give them a call to action where it's click the link in my description and find out how much you can actually afford by using this calculator. Something like that. It just has to, at the end of the day, it just has to naturally integrate into what you are teaching them and what you are giving to them. And so after that, we'll all be prepared. You'll be ready to go. Day comes where you're going to shoot, and there's nothing that you have to do besides set up and start recording. Now, this slide right here is a little bit more in-depth and difficult for people to do. And usually this is where I say a lot of times you guys can actually find people to help you with this. Shooting, okay, anyone can start with the phone. Just put a phone, get a natural light source. So stand in front of a window, prop up your phone, and just talk towards your phone. Very simple for anyone to do. And it's not, pardon?
Get yourself do it.
Yeah.
Camera, and I think they'll start there, and I think they should.
Yeah. Well, another way too that I'd like to suggest is do one shoot with a professional so that you get a little bit more comfortable and they direct you a little bit. And then after, if you feel you can try doing it yourself too. But yeah, it's just getting in front of the camera, being natural and trying to be natural with it. So that's one way. If you want to elevate it a little bit more and you still want to shoot on your own, you need just a small little tripod. You can get a light, very cheap, maybe a ring light off of Amazon, and potentially a little mic that you get off of Amazon that plugs right into your phone. That's also a good setup. Nothing wrong with that either. And then if you really want to take it to the next level where you guys are very hands-off with it and you have someone else, hire a videographer. No problem with that either. Next step that you get into after you do your shoot, you record everything that you planned. You just go through it, do it a couple times. You're going to want to start editing it. Now, again, this takes a little bit more time and effort for you guys. There's a lot of free programs out there. Like I'm pretty sure Canva you can use for free and edit a video. There's CapCut as well that you can use to edit a video. And I believe also Instagram just came out with one. I heard it's not that great, but still I'm pretty sure it's free and you guys can use it. Pardon? Yeah, it's called Edit. Yeah, it's called Edit. So if you guys look up, there's an app called Edit by Instagram, which is pretty much the same thing as CapCut, just not as good. You guys can also look into using that, which are all free editing softwares. But I want to tell you guys, if you have the means to outsource editing, that is the one thing I really think that you guys should outsource, because it's going to take you so much time to find these programs, learn how to use these programs, then you're not going to know what the most optimal way is to edit a video. At the end of the day, you can find someone really if you wanted to on Fiverr, Upwork, whatever these things are, you can outsource it to them, or you can have the same person that shot your videos on the day edit them as well. So instead of spending your time doing that yourselves, I highly recommend that you guys find someone that you can send this to and actually do it for it. And same thing with the thumbnails. There's cheap ways and easy ways for you guys to do it. You can use something like Canva as well. They usually give you templates, but the key elements that you want to have inside of these thumbnails are a photo of you, personal branding. You're right in front of people so they can see who it is, and then you actually get in front of them. And then you also want to have some sort of description on the screen of what you're going to be talking about, and make sure that A lot of people talk about clickbait. Make sure that whatever you have on screen actually relates to what's in your video, because if it doesn't, people are going to click on it, leave your video, and you're not going to get a natural push from YouTube. So make sure that whatever is on there in text is relating to your video. So those are two things. And again, thumbnail, same thing. Highly recommend you outsource this if you have the means to, instead of you designing it yourself. And then once you have this, you have all your content ready, you're ready to go. The next step is scheduling it and optimizing it. So every platform, every social media platform has some sort of scheduling tool built into it. So it's completely free for you guys to go in there and actually schedule your content. And based on how much you have, that's how you can break up your schedule. So it could be every Monday you put out an episode on YouTube. Every Wednesday you put out a short form reel, and then every Friday you also put a short form reel out. And you always have that consistency throughout by having that content. A system, exactly. And then if you have the means as well, where you can actually afford a scheduling platform, there's a lot out there. There's one called Later. There's one called Hootsuite, which is a little bit more expensive. There's one called Agora Pulse, which we usually use. All these platforms just enable you so you can schedule everything in one place. And it also gives you an analytics platform where it pulls all the data together, so you don't have to look a million different places to see how you're actually doing at the end of the month. So highly recommend that as well. And then optimization, this is one thing that used to be very manual, but now can be a lot easier for you guys. There are still tricks that need to be done outside of using AI to do it. But a lot of these things you can get a baseline optimization by just plugging your video and your transcript into AI and ask it to optimize this for YouTube or optimize it for Instagram. That will get you the very base level of what you need to actually have it all optimized for you. And again, just going back to AI, like I was saying, thanks to AI, now we have our shoot day, we've done our batch content, we have our videos, and we have our short form videos all edited, but we don't have anything else outside of that. When we bring in AI to the picture, we take that transcript from all the video content that we have, plug it into AI, say, give us a blog that's SEO optimized, give us an email that's going to entice people to actually click on the video to go watch more. Give us some text posts that go along with a short form that we can post on LinkedIn and Facebook, so we don't have to actually post the reels on there. And then this is a little bit extra work, but give us a carousel post that we can use based on the video that we just created. And from there, you take that information for the carousel, you go to Canva or give it to some editor, and they can create one for you.
AI, you're talking about ChatGPT.
So ChatGPT is a good one. Also, you can use anything else like Perplexity. There's a new one called DeepSeek, but that you don't really need that. It's a little bit deeper of performance.
Well, you think DeepSeek is better?
Yeah. Yeah, DeepSeek's definitely better. Yeah, so you can do free version of ChatGPT for all of this. Pardon? Yeah, but you're limited, but this amount, if you're not doing that much with your content, like if it's just creating a blog post, email, text posts, you should be okay to do it with that.
Carousel post, what are you doing? Just like uploading the pictures and saying, hey.
Carousel post, you're uploading the transcript of the video and you're saying, how can I turn this into a carousel post? And it'll give you the information to put in each slide and then you go edit it. Yeah. So that's the extra work that goes into it.
But you don't think we need to get the pro?
You don't need the pro, no.
Say transcript. Words, you have to have the words in text. to be able to see
Yeah.
it.
So I also have those. So thanks to AI, there's tools and prompts that you can use to get all this. So if you guys want, just scan that, fill out the form, and I'll be sending you guys the tools and prompts that we use. So one of the tools that we do use is called Glasp, and you plug that directly into YouTube. And whenever you go to a YouTube video, it automatically on the side gives you the transcript. And there you can just copy and paste it into ChatGPT and tell it what to do with that. So very easy.
From your point, like,
What?
are you
Creating that?
Yeah.
So if some of my clients I do it for, but if it's just video we're making, then we're We usually teach the clients how to do it themselves. Yeah. It always, at the end of the day, depends on how much budget they have. Yeah. Now, to give you guys a breakdown of how this looks, how your content schedule can look based on the topics and how much content you create. If we were to do a podcast that's only one podcast per month in 1 hour time slot, and you're only choosing one topic, your content schedule can look like Monday, at the first Monday of the month, you put your YouTube video, you put a story promotion to promote that video on Instagram and all your social media platforms. You can release your blog post that's on the same topic, and you can send out your email to your database. Tuesday, you can put out your short form post that you have created. And then Thursday, you can put out your text post on LinkedIn and all those other platforms. And then every week, you do the same thing: Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday. And the next month, you repeat with a brand new topic. So on the first Monday, you put out the YouTube video again. If we're looking at doing YouTube and in a 1 hour span, you're creating 2 topics, you can look a little bit like this. Wednesday, you release your YouTube video. You also put out your story promo to promote people to go watch your video from social media. You put out your blog post, and you send your email to your database. On Friday, you can put out a short form post on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Monday, you can put out your text post. Then Wednesday again, you have your short form, and Friday, you have your text post again. And what you can see here is you're putting out, for every topic that you record something on, you have 5 pieces of content spread across 2 weeks.
Select the time for YouTube video.
So generally you can do like 7 to 15 minutes, you like,
Hour long.
of recording. Yeah.
27 minutes.
Yeah.
From that.
Yeah, you're correct.
To make the short form clips.
Monday meeting is the long form and the little reels are the short.
Yeah. So like using you guys for example.
Day you film. Tuesday you give us the reels.
Yeah.
Wednesday I post a reel and I send out the links in the story and to you guys. And then Thursday I post the second reel. Friday we're announcing next week.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes back to chief.
That's part of our
Disciplines.
system.
Yeah. It's just creating that content system that you guys can replicate over and over. And for the Fultons, for example, they do every Monday, they do record that video for the power hour. Usually around Tuesday, it's uploaded on YouTube. And then they have 2 to 3 short form posts that they schedule out throughout the week. Then on Monday, they shoot another one. Tuesday, release it on YouTube. And again, they have shorts that keep on going. So every week they have new stuff coming out. This is the same for you. It's consistency.
Can't be charged 2 or 3 months and then forget it. It's
Yeah.
What we'll do is they'll hire someone like you for like one session and then they're like done. But like it is a very
Yeah.
consistent thing that we have to, it's like farming. You have to do it all the time.
Yeah. A lot of people that I've actually worked with, they've come to tell me like a lot of the benefit that comes from like having me out there is the accountability that I bring. So it's almost like having a coach that's always going to be there, like making sure you're on it and doing what you're supposed to do. So I don't know. I think I'm just making videos, but apparently there's accountability to it. This is an example. If you were to just focus on Instagram and you have only 4 topics, or you're doing 4 topics in that 1 hour shoot, you can break it down into Monday could be your blog post release based on that short form topic. Tuesday could be the short form that you're releasing. Email can go out on Thursday, and then Friday can be your text post. And as you can see broken down, top blue, red, purple, yellow, those are all content from that one topic that you created. And now if we just jump into this, this is basically 4 topics, 4 hours. This is once you get to scale, how it would actually fill out. So every week you have a new topic that you're sharing with your database and your sphere of influence. There's just a lot more content behind it. So you're hitting everyone almost every single day with different pieces of content on different platforms. So you're always in someone's face once you're doing this. And now the final step, now we know how to create content. Now it's how do we get it in front of people? How do we distribute this content? And how are we looking on time? We're good? Okay. So content just distribution, this is how, this is a system that I have in place that helps us get 100 plus hours of watch time every single month for our clients. So this is how you're going to want to actually distribute all this content once you have it made. So there's two different types of distribution. There's organic distribution, costs you no money, you can post for free. And then there's paid distribution. Ways that you guys can organically distribute and post your content online is through social media. So your social media channels, you're able to post it, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, X, anything that's out there, you guys are able to post that on there for free. Another way is email marketing. So based on the size of your database, you're able to send, you could be able to send for free. Some places like MailChimp charge you once you get past a certain amount of people in there. But at the end of the day, sending an email is pretty much free. Another free way that you guys can actually create content based off of your topics and send it for free to your database and get organic distribution. The amount of people that you send it to is the amount of people that, versus the amount of people that open it is the amount of distribution you get on that. And then the very final one that we have is a pro tip that we just started doing a couple months ago and actually got super good results from it. It's called Reddit distribution. So Reddit, no one really builds a following on Reddit. It's basically a forum that people go onto. But if you find the right subreddits and you submit your content to it, and you don't put it in a way that's self-pitchy, it's more like it's helpful for the subreddit that you're posting it to, you're actually able to get a lot of eyes on it through Reddit itself. And then a lot of people, if it's getting popular, will actually click off to go see you online at your profile. So if you share an Instagram post, a good majority of people will click off to go watch it online on Instagram, and some of them will eventually follow you as well.
Putting it in your Reddit.
But you're putting it on your Reddit account. Yeah, and Reddit doesn't have to be branded or anything like that because no one's going to follow you really. It's just a way for you to actually be on there. So what we do usually is there's ones for real estate specific. There's r/Toronto Real Estate's one. There's r/Real Estate Canada. And there's another one that's really good too. I think it's related to Ontario real estate. But if you dig into it, there's a lot of good subreddits. You just have to look at which ones are active and then post it there and make sure that your post complies to their rules.
Can you see how much people or how many people are looking at those posts?
Yeah. Yeah. You can't see like the statistics on views on other people's posts, but once you do it, you can see yours. Yeah. So to give you an example of distribution on social media, here's a little bit of behind the scenes of a reel post. So if you were to post an Instagram reel, you're looking at something like this where you can get up to 25 shares. This one specific one has a day and 3 hours of watch time. Just posting it organically on social media, you can generate numbers like this. When we want you to promote your story or promote your YouTube video through a story, it looks like something like the second one over here, where it shows a little headline description of it, plug in your thumbnail, and then give them a link to click on so that they can go watch the full video. So that top little title section is what you want to really use to grab someone's attention and engage them and get them to go look at the video. And then the last one over here is organically posting on YouTube. This is a video that we posted, got 917 views organically, and 32 hours of watch time was generated from that, and also 11 subscribers. So that's all organic. Email marketing, it's very simple what we usually send out to people. We want to make it look like it's coming personally from you. We don't want it to look like some sort of spam promotional email. So we usually just do it in plain text that we're sending to people. We add a picture of the thumbnail to get people's engagement, and they see what the topic's actually about. And then below that, if they rather read, it gives them basically a quick summary of what we talked about. And at the very end, you can see that they have an option to click off to a call to action, which was the ultimate guide to house hacking. And that gives them an option to go to a lead magnet and fill out their information and get the guide. Now, this is Reddit distribution. This is an example of what we had. This is actually one of the Fulton reels that we shared online. So we posted this on r/Toronto Real Estate, And the title is Why Did We Stop Building Condos for Families? And this was basically talking about how sizes of condos actually have gone smaller over time. And it's not reasonable for any family to move into. And by posting this, we were able to generate an additional 24,000 views on the video straight from Reddit. The upvotes don't really matter. A lot of people hate on Reddit.
Only from Reddit?
That's so 24 is from Reddit. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So just all over, you get a ton, but organically, 24,000 from Reddit. 54 people actually commented on it. Like I said, a lot of people on Reddit are like bears. They're always against the market, saying it's going to crash.
I'm known as the girl.
The girl.
Oh, you're the girl.
The girl.
What's
So,
the upvote rate?
It was that one in the.
so upvote rate is people like they can say like, yeah, I like this, or they can say like no. And usually if you're talking in a positive manner towards the real estate market, like it's going up or things are looking good, you'll get downvoted.
Oh.
But if you're talking about it's bad, you'll usually get upvoted. So that,
Thumbs up kind of thing.
yeah, thumbs up pretty much. And then this also generated 5 people sharing it straight from Reddit. So this doesn't count anything that happened on Instagram or wherever we originally posted it from. Now, there's also content distribution, which is paid distribution. And this is when you actually put money into the system to get your content in front of people. Now, there's different ways that you can do it. There's paid campaigns and there's paid collaboration opportunities. And usually paid collaboration opportunities are specific to Instagram. Paid campaigns can be across any platform that you're posting. So usually what we will do with our clients is we'll take YouTube videos and we'll actually promote it within their farm area, and we'll promote it towards people that are actually actively looking for real estate, and to either whatever their audience is. If they're looking for real estate investors, we'll target real estate investors. If we're looking for people doing real estate in Toronto, we're able to target that. And then also when it comes to a range, you're able to target very specifically what city you want this to be shown in. So you can choose Pickering, you can choose Markham, you can choose wherever you want, and that you're able to kind of narrow in on that. And when it comes to Instagram and Facebook, you can do the same thing, but it's within a 15-mile radius that you're able to target. And you're able to push your content in front of people that could be first-time home buyers or looking in a first-time home buyer grants. You can push it into people are looking or interested in real estate investing. People are interested in specific websites like Zillow and stuff like that. And it says Zillow, but it also means other ones. We're just not legally allowed to put realtor.ca on there, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But it's anything that's related to real estate websites. But yeah, so you have options to do all of that. And also through paid campaign management, you can also run your lead magnets where you're able to actually put something in front of someone in exchange for them getting that. They fill out their information and you can add them to your database. Now, just to give you an example of what paid campaigns look like on the back end between an organic video and a paid video. This one on the left has $200 in ad spend put behind it. It generated 4.5 thousand views, and it also generated 133.5 hours of watch time and 28 subscribers that are shown on here, because online on the advertising database for Google, they also show more, that those 28 are organic. More came specifically from the campaign. If you compare that to the same company that put out video and put 0 ad spend behind it, they generated 643 views with 11 hours of watch time and only 4 new subscribers. So you can see the power of how much push you get by putting some money behind the videos that you're actually creating. And when we move into paid collaboration, so another paid option that you guys can do, the one on the left is a video that was paid, had a paid collaboration, and this was with Ontario Housing Market actually, which we have a good relationship with. So this video itself generated 13,000 views and a day and 8 hours of watch time. So that's 54, 57 hours of watch time, if I'm not wrong. And then the organic video on the right side is from the same company, and it's just not a collaboration post. And it generated only 57 minutes of watch time organically. So, and I'm pretty sure these were actually the exact same video, just posted 2 different times. So you can see the benefit of that. Now, when we go back to how this all ties into the sphere of influence, like we said, you have your sphere of influence, which is your warm audience. You create your content and you can distribute it to your audience through multiple different ways and different streams to get it in front of them. The only thing that's missing from this is that the people that you put in front of, it's only going to grow so much. The only way that you can grow this warm audience is by having your content go viral, which is very hit or miss. It's very hard to decipher the algorithm, especially if you're not paying attention to it 24/7 and that's what you're doing for your job basically. So it's only going to get so much bigger based on organic push and your content. Your paid ads and stuff like that help a lot. But advertising and doing lead generation is actually what brings more people into your warm audience and your sphere of influence and helps it to grow automatically. And this basically by adding advertising into this equation, you now have a flywheel that gets more people into your sphere of influence so it grows larger. And then by creating content and distributing it consistently, you're consistently nurturing that clientele and that client base and that sphere of influence. So you're always staying top of mind. And when it's time for them to actually make a transaction in the real estate market, you guys will be one of the first ones that they're thinking of because you're always there. And like I mentioned, this is where we get into database growth, which I can do a whole thing on this. I know Katelyn's done a lot with it too when it comes to lead magnets, but I'll keep it pretty brief for you guys. Database growth is basically, like I said, growing your sphere of influence on autopilot. A lot of this can come down to having lead magnets, which is you can make a guide or a list. You can have a calculator, a tool, quizzes on your website. You can host events even. It could be a webinar. It could be an online event. It could be in person. And it can also be a free consultation. So there's a lot of different things that you guys are able to use as lead magnets, things that get people excited to actually share their contact information with you in exchange for something that you're going to give them. And then the idea too is distribution. So how do you actually get these in front of people, these lead magnets? You can add them as call to actions naturally to the content that you guys are creating. That's a very organic way for you guys to put that in front of people. So when you make a video about first-time home buyers, you can pitch your first-time home buyer guide, or you can pitch your calculator to see how much they can actually afford. Another one is websites and profiles. So a lot of people on their Instagram profile, they'll leave a link in the bottom, and in their bio, it'll say actually, click the link down below to get XYZ, or it takes them to a link tree where they have multiple different lead magnets, stuff like that. As well on websites too, when people organically come to your site, you can have a calculator where people need to fill out their information to get home valuations and stuff like that. So your website and your Instagram profiles are ways that you guys can actually add that in. And then the best way, which I think is the most consistent, is actually doing paid lead generation campaigns. From what I've seen, we're able to, based on the lead magnet that we're using, we're able to generate new leads for anywhere from $5 to $15 per lead. And that gets you their phone number, their email, and their name automatically dropped into your database, and they automatically get an email with the lead magnet that you guys set out to send them. And the way that the issue with these other ones that are organic, like putting in your website, putting in your profile, putting in your content call to actions, is that you don't have any sort of consistency. You don't know, it's hard for you to gauge, okay, how viral is this going to be? How many people are actually going to convert from seeing that piece of content to actually filling out the form? At the end of the month, it's not going to be consistent. But the thing that is most consistent is having some sort of paid lead gen always going on in the background. Because if you know that you're going to get people coming in the door for between $5 and $15 per lead, then you know if I spend $100 a month, this is how many new people are going to be added to my database. If I'm spending $1,000 a month, this is how many people are going to be added to my database. So it's something that's always consistent and always going to be helping you grow that sphere of influence on top of all the organic stuff that you guys are already doing. And that's pretty much all I have. So any questions?
How do we convert online views into clients?
So the online views, so this is a very tricky game, especially when it comes to real estate. And if you look at it, it's very similar to if you go door knocking or you cold call. The goal of this of doing social media and creating content, number one is nurture. So you're always using this to stay top of mind with the people that are in your database already. If people come organically back into it, that's just you adding more people to your database, and it's more or less, you can say it's luck. The best part about it is when you start using ads, and that's when you're growing that database and you're consistently nurturing them with the content that you have. Now, bringing them from being part of your database to becoming a client and actually converting, it's the same game that you play when it comes to your database and you brought people in from door knocking or any other thing that you do. You have to have calls with them. You have to have follow-ups. It has to be the right time that they're actually coming to you and you're top of mind for them to actually choose you to help them with the transaction.
You could have the wrong ideas. They think they're gonna do a post or a reel
Yeah.
and they're gonna get clients from it, and that's just not the reality of it. It's just having people. Sometimes the people that become your clients aren't even interacting with your posts ever. They just randomly will email you and say, "I've been watching you for
Yeah.
a year."
Exactly.
And I'm ready to buy. So
Yeah.
things like you and Claire was just saying, it's just consistency, like farming with postcards.
Yeah, it's just always you're just trying to stay top of mind as much as possible, and it at the end of the day it comes down to the same thing. Like it's not a direct ROI play. At the end of the day, when you're creating content, what are you doing? You're putting out a message and you're getting it to someone. When you call your database and you make 50 calls to update them about what the market's doing, you could do that, and you don't necessarily expect to get one person to or a bunch of people to actually sign up and list their house right then and there. You're just doing it because you're trying to stay top of mind and you're trying to nurture them. This is the same thing, exact same thing. You're saying the same stuff, just recording on video. And at the end of the day, you shouldn't be expecting ROI for just sharing information and staying top of mind with them like right away. Because it's the same thing. You're just, instead of doing 50 calls, you're recording one video and all these people are seeing it. So it's more efficient. Any other questions?
Like 1 hour per month and 4 hours per month. Do you have other packages?
Yeah, I have. So there's a bunch of different packages that we have. One specifically that I'm going to share with you guys is we're actually going to do an in-house content day for realtors. Where we come out, you can book a slot if you want to just do 1 hour. It's all based on how much content you want to make and what your strategy is. You can book a 1 hour time slot. You can book a 4 hour time slot, 2 hour time slot, completely up to you. Just depends on how much content you want to make and how much and what your budget is at the end of the day. But like I said, if you're new to this, I really recommend you doing 1 hour time slot to start.
Okay. Do you have the specs for the contents for realtors?
Yeah. Yeah. So most of my clientele is in the real estate niche. So that's basically why I'm here. I do a lot with them. And if you sign up for this content day, I'll work with you from step 1 to step 8, 9 to help guide you through the way. So we'll help you with coming up with the topics, doing your research, and even choosing what kind of frequency and what kind of strategy you want to use. So if it's podcasts, we'll help you choose that based on what your market is and what your brand is and who's part of your database already in your sphere of influence. And then from there, we'll help you do the research. So come up with the best topic for your videos. And then we'll also help you in that pre-shoot preparation where we help you build your script out. So, and then you show up on the day, we shoot, edit, and then you have all the content.
That 1 hour you mentioned, it would be 4 different topics.
Yeah, if you're going to focus in 1 hour, if you're going to focus on Instagram only, it could be 4 different topics. Yeah. Any other questions online?
How do you differentiate, I guess, between agents? Like,
So the way that we differentiate in between agents is specifically what your audience is. If you're farming a certain area or a certain location, that's one way to change what you guys are focused on and what kind of topics that we talk about. If you guys have a specific clientele that you're working with, like first-time home buyers, then we can niche it down on that. And then after, it comes also with the type of person you are, what your interests are, what your personality is. And at the end of the day, when someone sees a video of you versus a video of me online, certain people are going to go towards you and certain people are going to go towards me, just based off personality.
summer, they did a content day and every agent filmed the exact same video. I think they filmed 5 videos, the agents.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Same video, like next, they lined up. But like, and the agents were like weirded out, but you guys don't have the same audiences as each other. Sometimes agents follow each other, so we think that we're all posting the same thing because we just follow agents. But your friends are not following you, and my friends probably aren't following you. So your target audiences are not seeing Steve's video or Sam's video. You guys have different audiences. Only you guys would see each other because you're following each other.
I see pre-constructors doing that a lot.
Yeah, they probably set up a content day. Everyone comes through.
Yeah, they have the whole thing in the front there and you just read off their script.
Yeah, for sure.
We all see it, but their clients and your clients won't know that there's 50 other agents that posted that same video.
Yeah, and even the way that I like to structure it too is we don't have scripts. We have point forms that help guide you along. So the way that you say something is going to be different than the way someone else says it, just naturally. Anything else? All right. So this is the date over here might be changed. I just put this for filler, but we're going to have our first content creation day on to be announced February 20th, possibly. You can scan this QR code. You're going to be able to actually just show that you're interested in it, and I'll give you a breakdown of exactly what's included and what different options are available through this. And we're also going to be giving away one content creation session, 1 hour content creation session, which, for one person. We're going to choose one lucky winner to give away a 1 hour content creation session during that day. And basically when you scan this and fill out the information, I'll show you the different packages. The 1 hour content session, the one that I recommend for beginners, is $500 to start, and you get all your content for the day. You get everything from helping you to prep, come up with the ideas, coming up with your strategy, coming up with the frequency. And then we also help you plan out the shoot and kind of guide yourself along the shoot. We help you record all your video, and then we also edit it all for you. So all you have to do is just post it.
You guys are trying to fill out the Instagram handle, you put instagram.com/your video.
Yeah. Put the URL for Instagram.
I'll send that out to the brokerage too.
Yeah, I'll put together some more information too, so that you can send out.
Before you give your free giveaway, we'll make sure that whoever's attending the session will be put into that draw.
Yeah.
Online, and then I'll send something to the brokerage.
Okay. But yeah, that's everything. Don't forget to follow me on social. I'm most active on my personal c.grosso, or you can follow the agency at We Are Visualized. Luxury Cribs is actually, does it say it on there?
Oh, I saw that on other slides.
So for paid collaborations, there's certain pages that you can use. Ontario Housing Market's our favorite one to collab with just because of the audience. But we own Luxury Cribs and we own Visualize Toronto.
I thought those were spam accounts. If you posted before, they'll be like, send us your post.
We don't do that.
I thought it was Cybertrucks driving.
Yeah, we own those too. We need to be more active in the way that we grow those accounts because they're very stale right now, but we're working towards putting more content
Your
behind
collab
them.
isn't like a tagging Ontario housing market, but
It's tagging Ontario Housing Market as a collaborator,
as a club.
and then they accept it. Yeah. So in general, the cost for doing paid collaborations with Ontario Housing Market's $100 a post.
A post?
Yeah.
I had to pay to collaborate with them?
Mm-hmm.
Then you're exposing it to like a bigger audience. Like if you have a listing, that's a way to expose it to more people.
Creator of that account is
Yeah.
No, it's
So
oh,
an example of the $100 that you spend, the difference of the exact same post would be 57 minutes of watch time versus a day and 8 hours of watch time.
got a client that's like, why is it being my listing? Just throw it over there.
Yeah,
Oh man, they're overpriced.
I know. Nothing we can do. But the other option too is just put that money behind ads. So
Wait, instead of doing the paid collab.
yeah.
Do you feel like there's like a number Like you're saying 200, I think you put $200 for the boost or whatever. Like, is there a number that you find most effective?
Honestly, any numbers.
Any number?
Good, yeah. Yeah. A lot of people we do $25 a video, which is like if I recommend if you have a small budget. But if you have 200, you're going to get pretty much the same results, just multiplied by the amount of money that you put.
And is it based on per click or like?
It's based on the views. Yeah, CPM. So every 1,000 impressions.
How
Yeah.
do we start getting paid from YouTube?
You put a lot. You just gotta keep on growing. You have to like, I think it's within 365 days, you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time. Uh-huh. And a certain amount of subscribers, which I think you guys have hit already. Yeah. I think it's just a watch time you guys need to get.
We should, get there. How
Yes.
do we get to 10,000 followers?
We can pay. Pay for ads.
We still have 30
Pay for ads, not for fake followers.
followers.
But the organic is obviously better.
It's hard to compete. If they pay, it's the way that you look at paying for like promotion to get your stuff in front of new people that are actually the right audience is just, it's like a billboard basically. You're just letting more people know about you, and if they like you, they'll probably subscribe.
Pay for these 1,500 followers I'm looking for.
Not the fake ones. Through YouTube campaigns. Real ones, yeah. You can pay for fake ones though, but it's garbage. It's terrible. It ruins your account actually. Yeah. They're all bots, and
Is there a
then
way to prevent bots from like, no, probably.
no, not if you're doing that. If you're buying followers, like fake followers, it's just going to ruin your account. And the way that happens, if they push it, the way that the algorithms work is that they push it out to like 10% of your audience, your content, and based on the engagement rate of that, they decide whether it should be pushed out to more people. So if you have fake followers and you're getting your content pushed in front of them and they're not engaging because they're fake, then your content's just going to get snuffed. Yeah. Yeah. That's all.
Send an article on our content that.
Sounds good.
Do I end it?
I think you end it.
Thanks,